Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make the perfect yellow cake. This recipe comes from my textbook that I got from Culinary School. And in this video I'm going to tell you 5 secrets that I learned from Culinary School to help you make the perfect yellow cake. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Then next you need to prepare your pans. I'm using 3 8-inch pans. You can use 2 9-inch if you like. And I'll explain why you prepare them now later in the video. So first take a sheet of parchment paper. Trace the outside of the pan onto the paper. Then fold it in half, making sure you line up the lines that you drew. Then fold it in half again. And then use scissors to cut it out. And then when you open it up, it should fit the inside of the pan. Then once you've cut out 3 circles of parchment paper, you then need to grease your pans. You can either use nonstick cooking spray or butter. And then you need to flour the pans. Just keep shaking and tapping the pan until the flour is coating the inside of the pan. And once all your pans are coated, tip out the excess flour. Then line each of the pans with the parchment paper. And you can grease the top of the parchment paper if you like, but you don't really have to. Then just set the pans aside and we'll start making the cake. So I have all the ingredients measured out right here. We have cake flour, salt, baking powder, sugar, vanilla extract, butter, milk, and eggs. And here's the first secret. Have all your ingredients at room temperature. That includes your eggs and your milk as well as your butter. The eggs you can quickly bring to room temperature by placing them into a bowl of warm water and let them sit for about 5 minutes. The milk you can heat up in the microwave or over the stove to get it to room temperature. And the butter, it's best to take it out of the fridge at least 2 to 3 hours before you start. Otherwise, you can heat it in the microwave to soften it. Having all your ingredients at room temperature helps to combine them easier into the batter. And another secret tip, use good quality ingredients, especially butter and eggs. Good quality ingredients means you'll have a great cake at the end. So here's another thing, try and use a scale to measure all your ingredients. It's way easier to measure and it's also way more accurate. So to make this cake, I'm choosing to use a stand mixer because it's really easy. You can use an electric hand mixer, it might take a little bit longer. So into the bowl of the stand mixer, add in the softened butter, and add in your sugar, and also the salt. And then just place the bowl onto the stand mixer. And here's another secret, beat it on a medium-low speed. Beating it on a medium-low speed helps to incorporate even more air into the mixture than beating it on higher speed. So we'll beat it on a medium-low speed for about 8 to 10 minutes. So about halfway through the mixing time, you want to scrape down the sides to incorporate all the ingredients. And just continue beating it for the rest of the time. So it's been beating for the full 8 minutes and you can see how much lighter in color it has gotten. So now what you need to do is add in your eggs one at a time. It's important to add in the eggs one at a time because butter and sugar can only absorb so much liquid at a time. So adding the eggs too quickly will cause the mixture to separate and come out lumpy. So you add in 1 egg, mix it in until it's fully combined. Then once that one's combined, add in the next egg. And make sure you also scrape down the sides. And then add in the last egg and mix it in until it's combined. And once that's combined, add in the vanilla extract. And beat that on a medium-low speed again for another 5 minutes. So it's been beating for about 5 minutes now. And you can see it's now really light and airy. So now in a separate bowl, you want to sift your cake flour and baking powder and sift those ingredients into the bowl. And that just gets rid of any lumps and it also aerates it. And then whisk them to combine them. So now what you need to do is alternate adding the dry ingredients and milk into the butter and sugar mixture. You add the dry ingredients in 3 stages and the milk in 2 stages. So you start by adding 1/3 of the dry ingredients. And you don't have to be exact. And you mix that just until it's combined, or nearly combined is even better. And then you add half of the milk. Mix it just until it's combined or nearly combined. And scrape down the sides if you need to. So the reason you alternate adding the two is because, again, butter and sugar can only absorb so much liquid at a time. So you start by adding some of the dry ingredients to help it absorb the liquid. But if you don't alternate adding the dry ingredients and milk, it will form a very lumpy batter. So then you add another 1/3 of the dry ingredients. Then the rest of the milk. And then the rest of the dry ingredients. And at this point, you do not want to overmix the batter because it will form a very tough cake. So you want to mix it just until it's combined. And then just finish it by hand to make sure all the ingredients are mixing in. Again, you don't want to overmix the batter. Now that the batter is complete, you need to immediately get it into your pans and into the oven as quickly as possible. The reason you do that is because the baking powder will start reacting once it comes into contact with liquid. So you need to get it into the oven as soon as possible so the cakes come out as light as possible. And that's why we prepared our pans before. And then just bake them in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. And here is the next secret. Don't open the oven. Opening the oven will let out the heat, which will result in either a heavy or dry cake. So don't open the oven for the first 20 minutes. Test it with a toothpick, and if it doesn't come out clean, bake it for another 2 minutes at a time until the toothpick comes out clean. So once these cakes are ready, just remove them from the oven and place them onto a cooling rack to cool completely. And in an upcoming video, I'm going to show you how to frost and decorate a cake, so stay tuned for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have so many more on my channel, so be sure to check them out and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.